Now, hey, good to have you guys on, and it's been cool. I guess I've seen you guys now, twice. This is the third time in the past 10 days. And the one thing I've realized, Marty, is that in the last like 15 years in this business, man, like the groups and the teams and the people that evolve and adapt the fastest typically have the ability to have the most land grabbed, right? And I think that's what we're trying to do here is say, hey, this is something that I'm not confused about, man. This is a big, big deal on how we can help and serve more families. And I also don't, I'm not confused, but there's certain things that come out where you can keep your expenses here. If your income's here, now you could take your income here and keep your expenses there. And in that gap, man, that's all profitability. And so anytime I can, something's brought to my attention that does that, man, I want to get the message out to the team, the organization, and anything new, like you guys know, especially as a sales guys and girls, man, we kind of get stuck doing what we do, man. Like we get stuck with a certain lead vendor. We get stuck with like, I just like writing this certain carrier, but the ones that evolve and adapt, man, they capitalize on some stuff. And so today, guys, what I wanted to do is bring on Marty, so they can talk about Ethos, go through a little bit in detail, some of the value of it. And then as we wrap up, I'm going to have Rami hop on. Marty, I told him, I guess it was Monday. We had a Zoom, right? So once we hopped off that Zoom, I said, dude, what do you think? He's like, dude, this is just insane. Like, he's like, I'm not confused now. Now, Rami's a guy that he's going to help over 400 families, I think, by this month. So he'll help over 500-600 families in 2022. And this is really his first full year in business. He's a medical background, like he was going to school to be a physician or something super smart. All I know is whenever he talks about it, I feel stupid. So something pretty smart. But he ended up applying himself here, and he's very quick to adapt and evolve. He's very coachable, and he went out there and he helped himself with a policy. He helped his mom with a policy, and then he wrote 3 clients a policy by shooting them just a quick text message, and they were current clients, and they went out and signed up, and so he got like 5 policies since.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, 3 days. So if all you guys are like, I don't know if this thing really works. Well, I mean, look at Rami's bank account. I think he's got like, he's got a couple $1,000s that have hit his account because of that. So, but hey guys, appreciate you hopping on. I'm going to pass it, and you guys can just kind of go through some of this stuff and educate the sales force on what it looks like and the value that we've got with Ethos.
Awesome, Paul, man. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here. I'll kick it off, and then I'll pivot over to Marty to go through just a little bit of content with you all. A couple opening comments, Paul, that I want to mention. Number one, I want everybody to position their mind to catch it. I love that. That was really good. So hopefully you've opened up your minds today, because you and your organization, when we met with Sean, and I've known Sean for a long time, Sean is a visionary, and Paul, you're a visionary. And I think when you opened your mind, when you were presented this by Andrew, I think you had that aha moment. You're like, oh my gosh, this is accretive to my business, this isn't like somebody coming in wanting to steal share. This is helping me grow my business with really little to no work. The second thing I want to mention before I turn it over to Marty is, you can never forget, I have paid death claims. I've had people die that I didn't sell. I started out in this business in the 90s as an agent. What you're doing, and you need to never forget this, and that's why I love the name of your organization, Family First Life. I loved what you told about Heather. Paul, I used to bring my kids to the agency on Saturday mornings. They'd work on the whiteboards while I made calls. This is the greatest social financial product in the world that you all sell. And you can never lose sight of the power of what it is that you're providing. That security blanket for families is just pivotal to what you do. And I want to thank every one of you, because I know it's not easy. I've done it myself. That idea of being visionaries is something that FFL is foundational at. As other organizations, and I've been in the life insurance business for over 25 years, other organizations have continued to try and not innovate and try and do the same thing over and over again and not grown in an industry that's been stagnant for decades. You guys have grown 10, 20, 100x. What we're going to talk about today can be a catalyst for a 10x growth moment for every one of you if you open your minds and you catch it. I think that's really, really important. how you can think through how you can leverage the tool that Ethos provides to you to scale your business. I think that's absolutely paramount to what we're going to talk about today. The other thing I would mention to you is avoid the critics. There's going to be plenty of people that tell you why things won't work, why life insurance isn't a good business to go in, why the Ethos thing isn't as easy as we say it is. It actually is. It's a pretty simple integration. And we're going to continue to improve the integration capabilities with you as an organization as we accelerate. And I think what you'll find is you can integrate us, automate us, or add us however you want. But there's just so much you can do with how you deploy our product. The last thing I want to point out is I love that Paul put up the leaderboard to open up the call. My dad taught me really early in life. He said, son, anything you measure improves, and until you do, your result will be an unpleasant one. And that was one of the greatest, most valuable lessons I learned as a young man. And then I've translated to my kids. My kids say that when we talk about getting outworked and things like that. But when you measure what you're doing and you're efficient and continuing to grow your efficiencies, things get better. And Ethos is something that as you add it and layer it into your business, as the agent example that Paul described a couple minutes ago, you can quickly add revenue without adding time. Because I think the ultimate home run for me, if I'm one of you sitting across the Zoom sphere, is how do I implement this? How do I add accretive revenue? How do I 5x, 10x my business without spending 40 hours more a week? And I think that's the power of what Ethos can provide to you. So there are 3 core areas I want, and Marty, hopefully you're prepared to go through these today. But number one is just what is the product? What is it that we do? We're essentially at its core a technology company that has created an instant acquisition process that you can automate through a URL, a QR code. And it's a brilliant product with A-rated carriers that you can write 2 or 3 policies in the time you could have written 1, or even 10 policies in the time you could have written 1. The second thing I want you to think about is how to start. Like, where do you go with us, and how do you implement and integrate us? And Marty can show you a marketing slide that just says, hey, these are 5 quick ways to deploy Ethos in your business. And then lastly, how do you get started in terms of literally like, hey, I want to start. Like, it's 1:30 in Denver. Like at 2:30 today, wherever you're at, how do I start selling this? How do I start deploying this out into my clients, my leads that I didn't sell, et cetera? Marty will show you exactly how to do that. So I just want to thank you all in advance for your partnership. You are the most powerful life insurance growth engine in the country. You should be proud to be affiliated with that. And then I would just lastly, if Paul, you could share with that agent who lost his parent, that I thought it took a great amount of courage to share that story. And I'm thankful that he had life insurance there to help him and his mom and family. And I'm so pulling for that individual to just continue to insure and help families. I thought that was badass that you had that on there. So kudos to him, and thank you for having us on. I'll turn it over to Marty.
Hey, thank you, Marty. I appreciate it, dude. Definitely let Sam know. He'll appreciate that, dude. And the thing is this, it's like I think God always, will take anything that seems bad in the moment, and what the enemy meant or what circumstances meant for evil, he'll turn it for good. And even for Sam, man, like he's such a a meaningful specific when he meets with his clients. Like his persistency's through the roof, his close ratios through the roof. But I think it's a lot of times because of what he went through, and he's used that to go out there and provide it for good for others. And I think that's just a big deal. And so I know he'll appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you hopping on and
servant leadership. That's what he's demonstrating. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, hey, thank you for hopping on, and I appreciate you, man. Hey, buckle up, dude. We don't mess around. We're gonna get this thing going.
I can't wait. Marty E, roll.
Yeah, now I get to show you what it looks like under the hood. So I'm going to share my screen if you give me the chance. Let's see. So I'm not able to share my screen at the moment. If not, then I can just talk through things, but ideally I can show a couple of.
Are you able to do that?
A couple of slides.
Well, the good news is, Marty, on Monday I didn't have Casey here. He was out. And you saw how problematic that was.
Hey, Paul, you did your best, brother.
Hey, we got through it.
We adapted, evolved, man. Either you evolve or you die. We did not die. We evolved into Marty's Zoom link.
Oh, now I can share. We're good. We're rocking and rolling now. Here we go. Thank you. Right. Hey, that's how you build out a team. I ran track in college, and you put me next to a shot putter, you put me next to a distance runner, and we have very different, what we're good at, but you put it at the end of the day, all our points combined to see where the team finishes. So I'm all about the strengths and the weaknesses balancing out. So if we dive into what exactly Ethos is, basically we're taking what LIMRA says is, 27 to 46 days process. So multi-month process, and we're making it an instant 10-minute tops experience. So with Ethos, you have the ability to offer instant life insurance coverage, no medical exams, no blood draws, no needle phobias, no urine samples, none of that, to almost every applicant that you can get in the process. It's just a few health and wellness questions that the client's able to answer online, and you can also just cut out case management. So that's not something that you have to worry about. It's all web driven, so you can say goodbye to paper. You, on both the client side and your side, how you access the system and how your clients access the system, it's all web driven. And it's really just the easiest way that you can protect more families. So one of the final things that is really important when we think about what really stuck with me and what you just mentioned was, and I know a lot of people are like this, you go from praying about things to complaining about those same things. And so one of the things that a lot of people have joined this movement to do is to improve, their financial standing. And so with that in mind, we put a lot of pride in being able to get weekly payouts so that you don't have to wait another month until you get paid. Every Thursday or the next Thursday that comes after your policy is activated, it's hitting your bank account. So this is something that we think all together, case management goodbye, weekly payouts, instant coverage, is just a winning combination with the support of Ethos behind you. So we have the opportunity to take what's been a traditionally, really manual process and turn that into a really tech-driven process. So we've got over 300,000 data points that are interacting with the client survey that they're filling out to be able to accurately price risk. So since we're able to look at much more than just what, a doctor has to collect on the spot and what a client has to fill out with binders full of books, we have the ability to cover more than just the healthy and the wealthy. So our underwriting engine is really a democratizing engine to make sure that more people can get access to life insurance. The process of simply sharing a quote, sending that over, creating a quote, sharing that over to your client, and then them being protected, or simply just giving them a link and now they can be protected by filling out a form themselves, is really all there is to it. No gotchas, no more expertise required than getting a link in your client's hands. So probably the densest slide, but it's important to understand the whole process flow. Ethos has also a direct to consumer arm, and it's really important that I mention that, because what we do is we already have relationships with marketing organizations and client optimization funnels. We've got a whole army of how we can get someone that's considering life insurance across the line, and you get to leverage that. So if you have a client that starts an application, they're going to receive follow-up from Ethos, even if you don't do anything. But we're not trying to get those clients for ourselves. We're there to get them across the finish line for you. So we've got an army of marketing technology, of product optimization that will make sure to send targeted messages at the right touch points to get them through this process, to go from their 10-minute application to being underwritten and having an opportunity to instantly bind a policy.
Hey, Marty, can I jump in?
Oh, for sure.
That is, guys, that is a huge point. If you didn't catch that, this is one of those be ready to receive it. So Andrew Taylor called me like the first week we were live with his group, and he's like, hey man, somebody from Ethos called trying to steal my client. And I said, well, tell me more, Andrew, what happened? He goes, well, they sent the link out, they started the app, and then somebody from Ethos called them and tried to help them complete the app. They're stealing the app. I said, no, brother, they're closing the case for the agent. And he was like, you're kidding me. And I said, yeah, man, like you have an army of people that'll help close this case for you. And he was like, oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Hey, Marty, it's like the best wingman somebody never had.
Nuts.
For all those single people out there, you know what I'm talking about. Don't look like you don't. You're going out
Yeah.
like, picking your wingman, dude. Like, who's gonna help me find somebody?
Nuts, right?
This is the best wingman ever, man. This one actually gets you paid.
Yep. And I'll actually go one step further and say it's like being at a wedding and everyone talks you up. So it's not even just one wingman, because we've got customer experience, we've got the automation side, we've got the marketing drip campaigns, we've got all of these little touch points to help you out. So it's like hearing a good word being put in for many people to get you across the finish line. And then once they do get across the finish line, that admin platform at the end isn't admin for you. That's the client can do what they need to do also on their own, no forms needed, and it's completely digitally driven. If they need to, update a credit card, they want to see their policy documents because they're binding something, it's all web driven. If they can access the internet, they can get themselves covered.
Marty, I'm probably jumping ahead, but are you going to talk about the free wills and trusts?
I was going to at the very end, but that's a great opportunity to bring it up now. One of the I'd say special opportunities that Ethos offers is with most policies that are bound, your clients also get access to a multi-$100 product for free, which is wills and trusts for estate planning. So it's more than just thinking about, well, I know that I should protect my family in the event something happens. I can be much more proactive, and it's not a scary thing I put off in the future. I can actually lean into that and be guided and make sure that those difficult conversations or decisions are a lot less scary, because we've got products that'll guide you through that. And it's something that's included once they bind a policy. There's nothing else they have to do. It's just included.
Hey, Marty, I'm going to make a point real quick to that. All right. We've always taught, like, when value exceeds price, people buy. And see, when you go into something and you meet expectation, the client's like, okay, that was good. But when you exceed expectation, man, then you create like this raving fan that they just want to tell everybody about it, right? Because they're just like, this is better than I expected. And for a long, I remember 2010, we were looking at ways to provide more value to these clients because we started moving into final expense, and the budgets were tight. It was new because we came from just simply mortgage protection. We were adapting and evolving into a sector that was going to allow us to hit these new levels of growth because mortgages only got so much data, final expenses so much more plentiful. And that was something that we started to do. We would say, hey, go to, I think it was like freewill.com or something like that. And we would talk to these clients about that and provide that service. And in their mind, they're thinking like, dude, this life insurance is almost free now because we needed a will. And obviously you can speak that, build that up as far as not having a will and probate and what that looks like. And all of a sudden your cousin Billy that, he hasn't been around forever, but he heard that this person passed away and he wants to go and say, you owe money for this and that. And you got to prove that he didn't owe money. And you start going through this and they're in their mind thinking like, oh my God, that'd be terrible. Right. Yeah. You go through like how this will is going to provide that solution. And now they're thinking like, dude, the value in this is insane. For one, I've already got the picture very clear in my mind of what's going to happen when I die and the burden that will be left and how essential it is to protect that. But now I also wasn't even thinking about this whole will thing. And now that's provided and that's a part of it. And the value just goes through the roof. And so, people would pay, $40-$50 a month to have some kind of service where it comes to wills and things like that put in place. Now they get a life insurance and that. So I'm only saying this to say this, there's certain things that you have to get depth on when it comes to selling and articulating value. Some things you need to stay surface on, but if you just go over and don't spend time telling stories and going into depth about these wills, you're missing the boat, because this is a great value add. So if you can tell stories about somebody that didn't have a will, somebody that does have a will, what it costs to put these in place with attorneys and the thousands of dollars that you could spend. And this is something that's important, a part of it, because we understand that the two most important things is when you pass away, making sure there's protection in place, but also making sure that there's protection from your assets and the things and desires that you want to have happen when you go. Those are the two most important things that everybody says that they want to have, making sure that it's in line, it's planned, it's prepared. And this provides a solution for both. So I only want to spot that like that because I think that when it's easy to hear it and then think like, oh, that is good. And then they talk to client like that with that pitch. Oh, it is good. You know, like it's like, no, dude, you gotta go deep, dog. Like
Yeah,
you
no,
gotta
it's
tell the stories. You gotta build the value. This is a big deal. And so, anyways, I think it's a home run. And we used it going through the Great Recession as we built more value up. And I would sit with clients, and that was a part of my process, and it made a massive difference. So this is great.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And unfortunately, I've seen what happens when you don't have it. And it can unfortunately break up families because it's such a dispute that could have been preemptively handled. So with that being said, we had the focus on, what's the client experience? It's super sleek. It's easy. You're clicking a few buttons. You're on the web. Well, we're not forgetting about the agents because we can't do this without the agents. That same type of fluid experience is exactly what we've built for the agents. And it's all web-based. There's no downloads of special software. There's no special configurations that you need. It's all included as a part of joining the Ethos platform. You get your Ethos agent portal, and you've got everything from seeing how your clients are processing. You've got a community. You've got marketing that I'll show you a little glimpse at on the next slide. Let me just move it up in the presentation a bit so you can see this. Take a look at one of the things you'll be able to find is an example of the sample copy that we have. So we arm you so that you can have email templates, you can have SMS templates, so you can just hit the ground running immediately. So that you see at the bottom, when we were talking on the bottom left, we were just talking about the emotional needs of having, your final expense, your wills, your what's going to happen when I'm no longer here. We've got copies so that you can just grab it, drop in this agent link that gets them into the application process, and you can go. That's all you have to do. So we have a whole portal that's set up for you. I'm going to show you on a quick, 3-minute spin of what it actually looks like. But this is just a little glimpse of some of the tools that we have inside. And I can't overlook our buy box. So we've got a broad buy box that makes it easy to do exactly what we're focused on, which is democratizing access. So whether it's a senior, whether it's someone that's got health issues, they've got credit issues, the idea with Ethos is you're able to, and this is something that that the, let's say, more established Marty often emphasizes, is it's an amplifying effort. Rather than you have to go super deep and find what's best for them, you simply get them in the door, and then our tools will amplify that effort by finding what's the best product for them, given what they qualify for and what they've expressed interest in gaining in terms of coverage. So everywhere from age 18 to 85, you can go from term to whole. You can go from as low as, a few $1,000s all the way up to $2 million. So we've got a buy box that will guide the applicant through the process of them applying, and they end up with one of our A-rated carriers products. So this is really an opportunity to make your life easier because our tech is doing most of the guiding for you to free up your time so you can get back after it. Anything you want to add on that, Marty, before I go to the
95%.
use cases?
I hope you saw the 95%. Like that's pretty amazing.
That's pretty much everyone. Yeah. So you've got, fewer than 1 in 20 that wouldn't qualify immediately for one of these products. And so that's an opportunity to keep going with this idea of once you load the hopper, once you get more interactions and get this out there, the more opportunity you have to get families what they need. So one thing that I'm not going to spend too much time on now, but this is where we're moving with our rollout with Family First Life, is sales motions and integrating into those scenarios that make the most sense for what we have and what you're often encountering. So these are 5 quick scenarios of where you can think about what you're either already doing, you've already got your leads segmented, you're already encountering these, and then where Ethos just makes sense. So the idea is it's kind of like how you're merging with traffic on the highway. You're already doing plenty, and we've got Ethos opportunities to slot in right where it makes sense, whether it's mortgage protection, people who are highly concerned about affordability. If you've got leads that you purchased a while ago or that you had access to a while ago that didn't actually convert, if you've got existing customers and you want to do exactly what was said before, which is, hey, I want to just take this opportunity to have our quarterly or annual, financial check-in. I told you I'd keep you in mind when we got something new that would work well for you. Well, this is the opportunity. We never really talked about building up your wills and your estate planning. We never talked about how quickly you can supplement what you have. That's number 4. And then number 5, we've got plenty of collateral for social media posts. If you want to, on the side of your collateral that you might have in person, whether it's, a brochure, a pamphlet, your car, if you have a QR code, we can find ways to connect your QR code to your client link. And it's just an opportunity to unlock more incremental revenue.
I mean, that QR code thing is slick. I mean, imagine, it sounds corny, but on all of your social media outlets, putting your QR code permanently up there. I mean, a bumper sticker in your window or on your car, literally, you need life insurance, click here. You literally can automate your revenue anywhere and anytime.
Yep. I've seen this on business cards. I've seen it on refrigerator magnets. And when other people come across it, it's just an opportunity for them to see something, again, without having to do any extra work. So one important thing that's already rolling is most of you already have Ethos agent portals set up. And all you have to do to know if you can access it right now or not is just go to agents.ethoslife.com. You don't even have to add the dashboard, just agents.ethoslife.com. And if you're able to log in with your email or phone number, then you're ready to go. If not, then it's a matter of a week or so and you will be across the finish line. But that's really all that it takes. We've been working, tirelessly with the leadership team to get everyone set up. And we also have support resources, both for you as an agent and for your clients. If they encounter any questions or need any Ethos specific help, that's what we're here for. And so with that being said, I actually would like to show you really quickly, because I can't just, talk about the car. I want to take you for a drive of what the agent portal itself actually looks like. So just switch screens.
Hey, Paul, any other advice you want? Because we've added, I think, 23,000 agents portals. Like, we're literally working 12 hours a day setting these up. Is there any other advice you would have if somebody isn't set up in your downline? I think we've got most of them, but you want them to just reach out to us, or how do you want to handle that?
I think the link is pretty straightforward. So they click that and there's issues for whatever reason, then the next step would be to reach out to the customer support, right?
Yep. I just say, I'll make it even cleaner. So right now, since we do have a couple thousand more portals overall, that's FFL wide to create, I'd say if you go to that link, most people log in, no problem, agents.ethoslife.com, and you're good. If you aren't able to, if it says, email's not found or phone's not found, just wait 1 week. And then we will, go through all of ours. Now there's a chance that maybe we have an email address, your, 153@AOL.com from a while ago that you don't use anymore that we need to update. But for now, if you just wait, and then if you try again and you don't have access, hit that email and you'll have no problem getting in. But or setting up, and we'll troubleshoot it with you. But if you can see my screen now, this is what the portal looks like. So you've got an opportunity once you just, go to that website, you can get a quote started. You can shoot that over to one of your clients, or you could just see what your client funnel looks like right now. So you can quickly look at, well, I'd like to see currently who all has been in progress, who's all been submitted. You can quickly filter. You can see what the agent name, if you have downlines, to see what progress has been taking place so far. All of it's in here. All of it's web driven. You can see your performance in terms of if you do have many downlines, you can see who's been quoting, who started apps. So you can present that type of material that I saw just a little bit earlier, Paul, where you're talking about, I love that analogy. You got to know, in order to get somewhere, you got to know where you are. This is a way you can know where you are at any given moment, as well as your downlines. You can see who's performing where, you can see where your clients are, and you can just usher them along the process. One of the biggest boosts that we have is when we have clients who have received quotes, who have started applications, who've completed applications, but hasn't bound them. And all it takes is a little nudge. It's like, oh, I forgot I actually had to go run and pick up my kids. I didn't finish my application. You can just hop in your portal and see those clients, shoot them a quick text, and get them across the finish line. Two last things I want to point out. The resources tab has all of the resources that we were describing. So you can see what's going on, what's new with Ethos, what collateral we have for you, what PDFs, what email templates. And then finally, that invite link is probably where you're going to want to go first and save this. So all you do is hop in, agents.ethoslife.com, invite clients, copy that link, and then you'll be able to share this product with all the clients that you'd want to.
Hey, Marty, real quick. So when you were showing those templates a little earlier, it said like SMS, email template, that was all found on Agent Portal, right? Those right there.
Yep. So this is a resource in the Agent Portal, and we're going to continually roll out not just these general, what's Ethos. We're going to get tactical and in the weeds. We're going to make sure that for each of these selling scenarios, these are going to be things that we push out and everyone has what's the text or what's the script that this makes sense for. So yes, it's in the resources tab, but we're going to roll out even more.
So those specifics and like examples that you were showing, where are those at on the Agent Portal? Are they underneath like the email templates, or where do you find those?
Yeah. Great question. So if you come into your portal, if you go into the Ethos for Agents playbook, that's where you can see overall how things are going. But for grow your business, this is where you have an opportunity to see, one second, Ethos for Agent overview, email and phone
right
prospecting. That's where you can see scripts, you can see templates, and you can see also the estate planning that we were talking about as a great way to resume the conversation with your clients.
Yeah, and you even have agent advertisement as well, where they can post that on social media, put their QR code. And I think, Marty said it, well, like, dude, I would just be casting as many seeds. Like I think about like every post, everything that's got that QR code, everything that's got my link on it, every email drip I do, every SM, that's just throwing seeds out. And the reality is this: if you knew that every kind of, every time you put it out there on social media, every time you made some cards with it on it, or you made a little, refrigerator thing and they can stick it on there and it says, does something happen where you want to up your coverage? Here's a QR code. I'm just telling you guys, the more you can stay in front of people, the more seeds you can cast. If you knew that it was going to bring in $10,000, over the next 12 months, all these, from each source, from that, every email drip, that's 10 grand, this 10, well, then you would do it. Right. So I would say cast the widest net with sharing that QR code, with sharing your link. Use these Instagram and advertisements. They're great. You don't know, what you don't know. Like you got to execute and take action right after this call. And I just know that for myself, and I think most people are probably more like than not, that the longer I wait to implement something new, something that can be innovative, something that can help me grow my business, the longer I wait to take action, the less likely I am to ever take action on that.
Yep.
Every day you wait, man. I always say procrastination is the insurance policy you take out against your success. So you gotta take action, guys. So play around on this. Go to it. I was messing around looking at the phone scripts, the toolkits. I mean, I'm thinking like, dude, you guys have, thought about a lot, even on the marketing standpoint and how to approach this and attack this. And then if you want to throw another email out, you can, but you can pull, leads from your CRM. You can pull your client list from Americo in these different companies. You can pull the clients that were, canceled their policies out, and you can put together an email that addresses that specifically. And it's a very, Marty said, it's a little effort, but the payoff can be so great for the amount of effort you got to put in. And that's what I continue to think about as I'm watching all this stuff, man. It's just so good.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I saw a question earlier about Spanish. We are hoping to expand our Spanish offerings, but there are, conversation starters in here as well. If you can see this is how you can open a conversation or provide this with someone to get that conversation started. And it's really just a wealth of information in this resources tab. And I think that the more you dive in, the more you'll see different use cases and the more you can get after it with your clients. So just one more thing I wanted to share, which is I wanted to end on this page here, which is can't forget this welcome bonus. Can't forget that once you're just getting started, we have an incentive to make this work. I see a question about Oh, you're fielding it, Marty. Great. Yeah. So this welcome bonus is really to drive momentum. As you said earlier, momentum makes you look twice as good. And we want to get everyone looking as good as possible, especially at the beginning. The sooner we get this, habit formed, the better. And so a really simple way to just put a bow on this is it makes it as easy as possible to multiply your efforts, protect more families, and get them the coverage that they need, since over 100 million Americans, are under or uninsured. These are things you already know, I'm sure. And we wanted to take a novel approach at solving that problem and closing that gap.
Marty, are you saying every single policy that they sell the first 30 days that they're activated, they get $100 bonus? So if they do
Unlimited.
so they could do 100 and get 10 grand.
Yes.
You just put 2 zeros on whatever they do. That's how I learned the math back in the day.
Yeah, I tell people, I don't think people fully get this one. I'm like, once your portal's live, you have 30 days to make $100 on top of every case you sell.
This is like the litmus test for the people that are pretenders and the game changers, bro. Because I'll tell you this much, man. I would go right. I might write 100 of these just to lead by example on this one, man. I might
put 2 zeros on it.
I think I could spend 5 hours in one day and get 100 apps sold with Ethos. I mean, I just can't imagine. It's not that deep.
No,
it's just executing.
In our we have an 80. I don't know if you guys caught this. We have an 86 net promoter score. What that means is consumers love it. Like the average net promoter score for a life insurance purchaser is single digits. Ours is 86. It's insane. And the other thing I want to remind everybody, because you're probably thinking, oh, I already sold Susie and Phil. The average American buys 7 times. 7 times. So if you're not going back to them, somebody is.
It's true.
Don't forget that. Somebody is.
Well, Marty, when we started the company back in 2013, the leads, it just didn't look the way it looked. What it looked like is what it should look like when you start a company, which is it looked like hell. That's what it looked like. It looked like, and it felt like we were in hell. And we're just trying to get leads, figure out, where we're going to get leads. There was no clout, no credibility. So it wasn't like, hey, we'll vouch for you, we'll drop mail and expect that you'll pay for the leads when they come in. And I was like, no, it was all on us. And I remember putting every dollar I had, man, back into, marketing, into leads. And as they came in, I was like, man, I got to feed my agents. And so that 12 months, I did not work a lead. All I did was work my current clients, and I had not worked them, for the up until, 6 years of my first 6 years in the business. And I started calling these clients and going out and seeing them. And dude, it might've been my most blissful year. It was like, it was just like, dude, they were so excited to see me. You know what I mean? It was like, I was meeting with family and friends, and I went out and I helped over 400 families that year without any kind of, investment in leads. And a lot of these clients, they wanted, and think about this, for all these agents, I'm going to think about this. How many people have you met with that, they wanted 500 grand, but, you sold them because you wanted to stay away from the medical. You didn't want them to take the blood and peanut cup and all that. So you wanted to stay away from that, and you wanted to get them their money back. And so you wrote them a plan for, $200 a month for 200 grand. Well, I'm telling you, through these products, a lot of those 30, 40, 50-year-old clients, guys, they can get like that extra 300,000 that they really wanted for like $40 a month, $30 a month. I got $2 million in coverage for $75 a month. And I got approved in 10 minutes. I got a plan with Mutual of Omaha, Term Life Answers, that was $1 million in coverage. That was like, I think it's $50 a month, 20-year term, which means it was cheaper than that product. And that product, dude, I had to have a nurse come over. They had to take my blood. I had to do all these different things. And it took me like 3 months to get back and get approved. This was cheaper than that plan. And I got Preferred Plus with them too. I mean, I when I got that quote back, I was like, dude, this doesn't make any sense, which I'm okay with stuff not making sense. It benefits me. So I'm like, I don't need to figure it out, dude. Just like keep doing it because it's good. It's good. It's good.
Don't confuse yourself with facts.
Yeah. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So guys, I'm telling you, like, in fact, let's get Rami on so we can hear some of what he's done just since Monday, guys. So this is going back now, all of 72 hours. He's been an Ethos veteran. And
hey, Paul, real quick, I got to jump on. I got to host another call at 2 Mountain Time.
Okay.
I'm really bummed I can't listen to Rami because I know it's going to be awesome. But I just want to say goodbye and thank everybody and tell you guys how much I appreciate everything we're going to do together.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, Marty, dude. Excited about the partnership.
Appreciate
it. All
it.
good. Now
So
the
you got-
average Marty's coolness has gone up, so it's okay. I can hang out for a little bit.
Let's go, man. Rami, what's up, dude?
How you doing, Paul? Thanks for having me on, bro. How you doing today?
Hey, dude.
How you
man,
doing,
sorry.
Marty?
Rami.
Good,
Of
good,
course. Thank you, Marty. I want to thank you both of you guys for being on today, and thank the other Marty for giving us this information. It's really, really key and important.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, I want you to talk about kind of what we spoke about this morning. You gave me a call. You're like, dude, this has been great. You know, I'm taking action on it. This is what I'm looking like. Go through kind of those policies. Even the client that I think you told me you had a client that kept getting declined
Yeah.
on medical, and they got approved. In Ethos, by the way, guys, it's a instant approval, but it's as if the rates are as if it's been fully underwritten, and they took an EKGs, all this stuff. They have so many data points they pull that they feel confident, comfortable with giving those rate classes without really kind of looking at the actual blood work from exam they just did. So talk about that client and what they got, and just kind of go through that real quick, what it's looked like, you know, your approach and how you went out there and got those 5 additional sales really just since Monday, you know?
So after we hop off that webinar, Paul, I basically noticed that Ethos is very user-friendly. It's very simple, straight to the point. It's not that complicated. It's just basically, like you said, executing. So I started to think, how can I just, use this as well on top of my book of business? I just started thinking about all the clients who've been declined with me, and I mean declined after submitting term after term. The situation doesn't fit the whole life or the equity rescue or whatever kind of plan you're pivoting to. So I started to think, let me send them this link. So I pulled up my phone, pulled up their contact list, went to the agent dashboard, hit invite client, sent them the text. They all started signing up right away. They all started texting me back saying, hey, I really like this. Let's see what we can do. Is it this simple? I said, just fill it up. Follow the steps in full. Do it to the T. It's going to work. One of the clients who actually got declined many too, because I already listened to this. So one client, he was declined basically every single care we had. He got approved for upwards of $300,000 on a 20-year term with Ethos. Secondary, my own mom. So my own mom, she's been declined every single term product, guys. We own every single one. Even some whole life have declined her. So for some reason, I was a little confused. I was like, what's going on? So I applied for Ethos as well, term, and she got approved. And she got approved for 20 years, well, 200,000. Now, of course, they adjusted the rating. It didn't give her the preferred plus, but she still was able to get approved. To me, when I saw that, that was true. That was massive. That was huge. I was like, okay, so if my own mother, who I know personally has been declined for all these companies, can get into this product, what about all these families that we meet? What about all these other families, how you said, who need this coverage, and we know the prices? We're like, you know what? I'm not here to make you insurance poor. Let me pivot you to this other program, lower the face amount a little bit, and give you a return of premium X, Y, Z. But at the end of the day, if we can help the client, give them what they truly need for a really, really beneficial cost, I'm all for it. So what I did, Paul, like you said, we talked about it. He said, hey, let's try doing this thing. I pushed it to my clients and they started writing it. And I'm actually very, very happy that now I'm contracted with Ethos and I'm able to provide this to my clients. The second thing I want to mention is that it's really, really easy to use. Not just like I'm talking about making the application and quoting. It's easy to promote. As Mario just said, the other Mario, you can put a QR code on your car. I was like, hey, that's actually pretty cool. It's actually kind of smart. It's blasted everywhere. People love QR codes. They're going to scan it left and right. People like to see what they do. So in essence, I was thinking, this is a really good way to market. I can put on my Instagram. I can put on my social media. I can text message. I can email blast. There's several different ways to get this news out. I can just say voice of mouth. Hey guys, hey, do you need life insurance? Have you ever heard about trying to get approved for insurance? If they say, yeah, I've been declined, no worries. Let me send me your phone number. Send a quick text, link. Go on that link, fill it out. If you're good, you're good. I don't have to have any more conversation at that point. I don't have to kind of dig into the why and say, because they understand the need at that point. Those families, they say, hey, we need this coverage, but it's just hard for them to obtain. This gives us another avenue that will definitely entail to allow more coverage and, of course, produce more volume that helps my family and many other families at the same time.
Yeah, I love it, man. And so I think that, the clients, for one, if anybody's a seasoned agent on here, like what Rami did, you can do. I mean, it's going to work just like it did for him. And I think a lot of times when we're not actually doing something, we can stand on the sidelines and start to perceive it as something completely different than what reality is going to show. And what I mean is, like, I remember doing annual reviews and I thought, like, man, these clients already helped them with life insurance. Like, and I remember helping some of these seniors where it's like, dude, I went through their budget like that. Like, dude, that's what they could afford. And they probably don't want more. And dude, I couldn't be, I was so dead wrong, dude. And I found that out as I started to call these clients that, dude, no, they want more coverage. If they've got an extra $80 disposable, dude, they're not looking to go buy a new car. They're not looking to, like go on. I'm like, dude, they're looking just to put their family in a good position at that age and stage of the game. And so I think these conversations are so important to have with these clients. And especially as you can go into like these wills and things like that now and say, hey, listen, I told you that I'd, do a review once a year, and I'd reach out to you. I apologize. It's been a little longer if it has, or if it's been 6 months, I always say, I told you I would do my best to do a quarterly review or semi-interview, depending on the schedule. And we've been just really shorthanded and behind with the amount of requests we have and families to serve. But I wanted to call you, and I'm doing my best, throughout this week and next week to call some clients and make them aware that we have a new service and product available where we can help you with the free will. Do you have anything in place like that, Rami? Well, no, I don't. Okay. Well, then you can start going through that. And then you review what they already have, make them feel good about what they already bought, and say, listen, most clients in your situation, the first step is to have some kind of foundational protection in place, which is what you have, which is great. But the second part is, a lot of families, in fact, statistically, it shows that most Americans don't have enough life insurance, and they want more. But it's just that rub between finding the best fit based off budget and protection. And so I wanted to, I told you, like I when I first met with you, anytime something new comes out that's of great value and benefit, I would let you know. And so now we've got partnership with Ethos, and you just go through what it's set up as, and they're going to add protection. I'm telling you, you'll get my close ratio on additional policies was like 90%. Like 90% of the clients that I already sold a policy to, that I went back and talked to again, I wrote an additional policy with. And so, guys, this is a big deal. It's a big deal. Anything else you want to wrap up with, Rami, or anything that you want to talk about or highlight regarding that process and the clients that you helped?
Yeah, so basically, I just want everyone on this call today, guys, go out there and use Ethos and execute. Don't get out of your comfort zone, because growth comes with uncomfortability. Now, I know a lot of people on here are thinking, hey, it sounds cool, I like it, but you're probably timid to use it. Don't be timid. Send it to your clients, send it to your friends and family. See how it really is. Write a policy on yourself. Just go out there and execute it, because once you actually do that, you're going to see, guys, how fruitful this can be, how easy and convenient it is. At that point in time, like Paul said, when someone has just a disposable income, that level of profitability is just the their cash flow comes in. So when your expenses stay low, you can get your income and your investments to go higher. That's really when it comes into play. And I think Ethos, guys, is the key to that. I truly do.
Hey, get this. That was good, man. Marty, while Rami was talking, Josh Mwanza shot me a text message, and his message was, you've been approved to get coverage today. And so I mean,
What was my timestamp?
I don't know when he started. I don't know when he started, man. I know I got
like 5 minutes.
I got mine 1 minute faster than anybody else has gotten theirs. Mark me to act like he beat me, and I was like, dude, don't lie, man. You got sent to an APS, bro. You got stuff. But
there's gonna be a champion declared. That's an FFL record of who can be the fastest.
Dude, I'm telling you what, bro. I ain't a lot of things, but I'm quick, man. But hey, this has been so good, dude. I appreciate you hopping on, Marty. Rami, thank you for sharing. And guys, the organizations, the teams, the agents that adapt the fastest, that are not like, trying to, develop this paralysis by analysis. Well, let me look at more of this. No, just do it. Like, drop your knowing threshold. And what you think you need to know before you actually go out there and do. Realize that, like anything in life, knowing comes from the execution. And a lot of it is just figuring it out as you get going, figuring out as you try things, tweaking, adjusting, and having that philosophy of experimentation. But philosophy of experimentation means, man, you got to experiment, dog. We got to experiment right now. So go out there, execute this stuff. Marty, appreciate you hopping on, man, and breaking it down the way you do, man, because it's very understandable. It's very simple, and you articulate it very well, dude. So I think that anybody that didn't know, now they do know. Exactly.
If you don't know, now you know. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and I'll let y'all enjoy the first day of fall.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, go do a Biggie Small said. If you didn't know, now you know. Let's go get it. All right, guys. See you.
Take it easy.